Political headache. Hello there, people of the internet. My name is Joakim, and this is Political Headache. We had a great conversation with you the other time, and I think it was really nice. People of the internet, this is Joakim Simiyu, a gentleman that is coming out, and I asked him whether he wants to be president of this country, but he did not tell me exactly whether he wants. But perhaps he sees that as a bigger ladder, as a taller ladder to climb at this moment. Do you think it is a taller ladder to climb at this moment?
It's a bridge that we should cross when we get there. Yes.
Okay.
When we get there, we'll decide what to do.
I want to discuss the issue of 2027 and who is going to be backed by the Gen Z.
Yes.
I hear somewhere that the Gen Z are most likely to have a vote of more than 3 million.
Yes.
Do you think that's a correct number or assumption?
According to the current data about the composition of the general population of the country, people from the age of 20 to 40 around there, they are around 7 million.
Okay.
And just by saying that, it tells you that most of the people who are going to be casting their vote, some for the second time, some for the first time, they are going to be more than 50% of the people who will be voting. So if we will keep our unity as the young people and decide to vote for one person, then I don't know the level of rigging that will make us not win. Because right now, as we speak, the president knows, and because he's not a stupid person, he knows that he cannot win using the votes of the Kenyan people. So he has to come up with other subterranean ways of winning, which some of us are privy to. But our only way of winning is to come out in very large numbers and vote like we will never vote again. This is a matter of do or die.
How many votes do you think the Gen Z has? People that were born in 1990, let's say 1996, or 1996 to...
These people are so many. In the last elections, around 8 million people didn't vote. Majority
did not vote?
Yes. Majority of which were young people. They didn't see an option. And some of them were just, they thought politics doesn't concern them. And today, I told you last time that I thank President Ruto because he has pressed the button that has awakened everyone. And now everyone knows that politics, casting a ballot, affects your life directly. Right now, even a Form 1 student or a Class 8 kid knows that if you vote wrong, you will live wrongly. And therefore, everyone has a reason to come and vote. People are asking us, who are we going to vote for?
Yeah, that is actually what I want to discuss with you today.
The 2027 election is going to be like appearing in court for divorce with your wife.
Explain.
The first agenda on your mind is to separate yourself from this person. And therefore, when you come to court and ask the person who is divorcing his wife to tell you who he wants to marry next, you know, he will not tell you. His focus is to get rid of.
I like the psychology and the philosophy around that statement, but I think it falls flat on the surface.
Yes.
Given that, I think it's important because you all know that there are people out there that want to take over the country as a president.
Yes.
We have William Ruto,
Yes.
perhaps somewhere William Ruto. We have Maraga. We have Matiangi. Raila might pop out and run again. We have somebody that is going to be likely endorsed by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. We don't know who it is. We have, what is her name? Karua. Of all these people, do you think that there is somebody that the Gen Z are looking at and are saying that this is the person that I think is looking a bit familiar to us? and is able to give us a Kenya that we want?
I use the elimination method so that we arrive at the most suitable person. I was looking at Matiang'i,
Okay.
where people were saying that he looks like a person who can bring change. But again, Matiang'i has been part of the problem. He's saying he just resigned from World Bank. World Bank is one of the multinational corporations that is a problem in this country. It's causing a problem. They are forcing how we do our fiscal policy formulation processes. They are the ones forcing us to do heavy taxation, using debt as a problem, as a reason, because they tell us we have debt to pay. Therefore, World Bank and IMF is one of the problems in our list. And so someone saying that I just worked for World Bank and now he wants to be president, I tend to believe that he hasn't, if he ever worked for World Bank, then he has not resigned. He has been reassigned to come and work for World Bank as the president of this country and take care of their interests, not the interest of the people. Because we have a problem with them. They are using public debt as a way of controlling the running of our country. And that's one of the reasons I do not believe Matiang'i can be a fresh breath in our leadership. When you look at domestically, who is supporting Matiang'i? It's Uhuru Kenyatta. The same person.
I don't know how he.
It's Uhuru Kenyatta. He's saying he wants to run on Jubilee. Who is Jubilee? Who is behind Jubilee? Who appointed him to cabinet is Uhuru Kenyatta.
Okay.
Even when he speaks publicly, he speaks highly of President Uhuru.
There's a mouthpiece.
Yes. President Uhuru Kenyatta, during his time, 6.5 trillion is missing in our books in terms of debt.
6.5
trillion. During his time, from 2013 to 2023, the amount of money borrowed during his time as president, 6.5 trillion cannot be accounted for. And that is the same person who is fronting Matiang'i. So Matiang'i cannot come to upset status quo, which is our agenda. So using those parameters.
But they said that he ran a very good. He did very well when he was the Minister for Education.
Did he?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? How did he do when he was the Minister for Education?
Well, you see, something that comes up when people talk about Matiang'i is there are so many things that we crave as Kenyans, and whenever we see them in bouts, spontaneous bouts of sanity in exam, capitation of secondary school funding, teachers doing their job which they are supposed to be doing by their tenure. You see, when these things, somebody comes up and says that now they are happening and they're happening under a certain particular CS, we long for it. But does it entirely mean that this is the product and the sincere product of this particular CS? Who is Matiang'i? No, I don't think so. It's the same thing we have, the nostalgia we have with John Mishuki. When John Mishuki introduced the seatbelt, it was sort of like a bandage on a wound. And so for a moment of time, there was some sanity and relief that our public transport system is sane. But the bigger problem, why do people cheat in exams? Because we aspire excellence and we think we can buy it. We think we can buy integrity. There's a bigger issue there. Why do you think teachers don't teach? They go to school late. Because there's a problem with how you take your professional value into the system. You understand? And so the abrasiveness with which Matiang'i ran most school systems and the education ministry was needed, but it was more reactionary. It wasn't a portfolio that you can say that he did this. If at all that was sustainable, then we would still be seeing those things to date. But those things fell apart. CBC was pushed down the throat of Kenyans during his tenure. Something that needed thorough consultation with the public. And I feel that was missing, particularly for something very important and crucial in terms of the next generation for Kenya. So I don't think that is a good portfolio for him to hang on, although he is actually hanging on it. Yes.
But how about him as the interior minister?
Authoritarianism.
What do you mean?
I remember one of his statements.
Okay.
He had just disregarded some court orders. And there's a journalist who was asking him about that. And he said, we cannot continue like this. These people are so fond of going for court orders. I think one day they will come here with a court order for me to commit suicide. So he was rubbishing all that.
Yeah.
If this is a man who is disregarding a court order, just as a minister, assume he's now president. And the other day when he was being interviewed by Citizen TV, he sounded like a sitting minister defending the system.
Actually, yes.
How so?
When he was asked about, do we have some militia group that is wreaking havoc on the people, that is being commanded by a separate... yes. He said, no, there is nothing like that. When we can see it happen. He was asked about, does the president control police? He said no. Who is the chief of commander-in-chief? It's the president. So how can you say he doesn't control police? Look at the president's statements and look at the minister's statements. You look at the IG statements and the chairman of defense in parliament. They all synchronize, which means they are speaking from one source.
Script, yeah.
So when Matiang'i says that those are independent institutions, we see him as just someone who is coming to do the exact same things. It's only that he's not the one in control. He wants to be the one in control. So using those parameters, Matiang'i does not qualify to be president. Now.
But then we have Gachagua. Where is Gachagua in the entire equation?
I wonder, we cannot be saying Ruto must go, then think of Gachagua to become president. You know, it's like you say you don't want to suffer from cholera, you prefer typhoid.
Really?
You are still going to have problems.
But then again, I want to invite you to a certain perspective.
Yes.
We've always had this problem, and I think even when we installed the bromance of Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta in 2013, I think that's the same headache that probably Odor Jagero is leading towards. It's for me, it's impossible morally, ethically, constitutionally. Like, it's impossible for me to separate Rigathi and Ruto. In fact, in so many ways, Ruto is possible because of Rigathi, whether it is the political underpinnings of how things worked and the negotiations that were dealt, which the country is not seeing, but a political commentator might see that this was actually possible. So he is not inconsequential, and I think this is something that most Gen Zs, whenever they think about the hope, the bigger hope of rescuing ourselves from the first priorities, divorcing from Ruto like you have actually premised, we don't think of the consequential actors, political actors. And whether we like it or not, there are people we still want to win over, whether it is by persuasion, whether it is by civic education, whether it is by telling them that you cannot afford to separate Rigathi from the mess we want to run away from, we want to divorce from. So in what ways is Rigathi consequential to the 2027 matrix? In what ways, whether he's running or supporting a person or financing or just generally is rhetorics, is commentary on the political scenario.
Sloganeering.
There are people who actually believe in him so much that whatever he says will be important in terms of their decision making. So could you maybe paint a picture for us?
The usefulness of Rigathi Gachagua is that he understands some of the things that we are not privy to, the actions that happen behind the curtains. So he could tell us a step that Ruto is thinking of making. Yes, so because he's been there. They planned together. They were sworn in the same day. So there is a process they followed for them to come to that swearing in. And therefore, the usefulness of Rigathi Gachagua is to anticipate the possible step the president could be taking for him to retain his seat. And also, we appreciate the missiles he's sending to State House. Very, very important.
You appreciate that?
Yeah, those missiles are very important. You know, in this case, we will work with anybody.
As long as
as long as the end product is William Ruto going home. Even if it's Osama bin Laden.
But then the thing is, if, for example, you make use of Rigathi Gachagua
Yes.
politically
Yes.
in the matrix that Ochoka is talking about, then he will want a seat at the table.
Yes.
So then how do you then use him for his missiles and B-2 bombs, but then deny him a seat at the table? Because then if you put him too close, then he's just going to do to your house what he did to the house of the Sugoi guy.
You know, there are things. There is a problem with the system. And right now, even if you send a good man into this system, he will acclimatize to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The system will dictate how he behaves. The reason why we are saying Ruto and his cohorts should leave, so that we put up a system that even if Gachagua is part of it, the system forces him to draw the line.
What sort of system are we looking at here? What is in your head when you think about this system?
When we elect someone who has a lot of skeletons in his closet, you can use it to make him do what you want. Yes. Like right now, President Ruto has a lot of skeletons in his closet. So some external powers can force him to do some things.
I've been doing so, I think,
Yes.
in my opinion.
Yes. So he cannot say no. Because they say, hey, if you don't do this, we can do this. So if we use Rigathi Gachagua, then we elect someone who has not a lot of skeletons in his closet, and we are electing this person with the vision that we want a good country for everyone, then Gachagua cannot come again after the election and demand the things that made us chase away William Ruto. If he does that, then we will do to him what we are doing to William. If we can cause headache to a sitting president, what about just someone who helped us get into this seat? We can do away with him. And this is a warning to everyone who thinks that they can take advantage of this movement for them to make the country come back to where it is now. It cannot happen. We had used elimination method from Matiangi. So who else?
Yeah, we have Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua is, and Karua. Karua is quick clean, no?
I don't think she's clean either. I remember I was looking at a speech. Is it a speech or proceeding of parliament? Just after Kibaki was sworn in.
Okay.
Sort of fierce eyes.
Yes. I remember Ababu Namwamba by then, MP for Budalangi. They had some exchange of words. And one of the people that contributed to the violence and Kibaki being sworn in usiku, it's Mother Karua. So she cannot say she is clean. That's why we are saying drain the swamp.
What did she say in Parliament when they were squabbling with the former Budalangi MP?
I don't remember the words exactly, but she was defending Kibaki's presidency, which clearly was not the will of the people at the time. So if she forced Kibaki's presidency down the throat of the people, then she cannot now claim to be the person who wants things
People
to be
change,
done. Yes.
Mr. Simiyu. People change.
People change. Then, if you are Saul
Yeah.
and you want to exhibit the behavior of Paul, then you must show us where was the Damascus moment. When did you change?
When did you change?
Yes. You can't just begin to...
Because it's very amorphous and grey.
Yes.
You cannot trace and see that this is where Martha Karua
Change
made political turnaround.
Yes. She should come out and apologize for actions in 2007.
And she's been very adamant in terms of defending that, even today.
Yes, she's still defending the actions she did.
In what way?
That was
Not
it?
admitting, one,
Yes.
and circulating around it. You know, it takes a lot of political courage, because at the end of the day, at this point, she might be a president or she might not. And the stakes that were there in 2007 are not there anymore. So you can have the political maturity to admit that you did something wrong.
Like Gachagua, I don't. I say every time, I don't admire his brand of politics. But there is a time he said, all these
Forgive me.
problems,
Yes.
all these problems that we are facing, I contributed to creating them. He said there is a time he was called a fool by the president. Then he went back to his house and sat down, and he agreed that he's actually a fool. And for that, forgive me.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of humility to do that.
It does.
Yeah.
So that's why, say, Martha Karua and every other person, even Matiangi, if he wants to be trusted by the people, he should come and say, I did this was wrong, but please forgive me, I want to be given a chance to do things that are right. If you can't do that, then how do we trust you? So,
Your elimination takes us now, before I go to Ruto, I want to remain at Raila Odinga. What are his chances of becoming president? And why
Raila
would he not be
Odinga,
president?
I have said time without number, Raila Odinga doesn't want to be president. He doesn't. If he ever wanted, then he stopped wanting to be president in 2013. You know, to some extent, I blame Kenyans. And I painted a picture last time that Raila, at one point in time, he was the only politician that people could believe he had a stand and he knew what he wanted. But in 2013, Kenyans, a good number of them, voted for a person who had been tried in the ICC for crimes against humanity. So if these Kenyans, I'm fighting for them to get good leadership, then even if Uhuru Kenyatta rigged in 2013, he was only adding on some votes that he had got. Yes. So if Kenyans are really serious with good governance, why are they voting for a person that has a lot of baggage? Then it means these Kenyans are not serious with what they want. So how do you handle it? You now position yourself to benefit from their ignorance. That's what Raila is doing. He knows you people are not going to vote for somebody who is willing to change the country. You're voting for someone who is not going to be able to run the country. So he positions himself to benefit from the same. He knows this person that Kenyans have voted for will not be able to run the country. He will be so stuck. I will come in as someone who wants to help, then I will get my cake. I am sure Raila was just laughing when you people, when William Ruto was announced as the president-elect. He just laughed because he knows William Ruto. He knew this guy will not go far in running this country, and I will come in. There is a time during Dedan Kimathi's wife's burial.
Yeah, I remember that.
Raila said, "Napiga kelele lakini najua atapoa."
He knows his body.
Yes. Atapoa tu, huyu atapoa.
Nani alikuwa anapiga kelele?
Ati Ruto.
Ruto.
Anasema nini? Najua atapoa.
What is the context of what were they talking about?
The context is these guys know each other intimately, so.
Yes.
And so political squabbles that we see as the average Kenyan, as people fighting, politicians fighting, that is not the case for them. Even if it is true still that these guys are are at a differing opinion point, they know at some point there will be a compromise made. And that compromise creates a conducive opportunity for him to strategically benefit from it.
Yes. Because Raila understood that William Ruto is not going to listen to anyone.
Really?
Yes, William Ruto.
He has never even listened to him anyway.
Yes. William Ruto does not have the acumen to hire good managers. So his government will fall apart. And the only person who can benefit from that is who? Raila Odinga. So you don't stay far from there. So I said the other time that if Kenyans wanted to do away with people like Raila Odinga, if you want to send Raila home, there is only one formula. It is not to vote against him at the ballot. He will always come back. What you do, you
5 years.
You vote for a president who can actually work. Raila is an opportunist. He looks at what is the president not doing.
Okay.
Then he capitalizes on that and makes a lot of noise and makes
because
it.
he already has a social,
Yes.
socio-political
Yes.
capital here.
He has.
Makes a lot of noise.
Yes. Sema bei ya unga imepanda. Na kweli ukiangalia unga imepanda.
He already anticipated it anyway.
Yes. So for him to lack something to work with, let the president just work. Deliver on make life comfortable for the people.
Okay.
So that people do not find a reason to listen to a lot of political content. The Raila will struggle to find his footing. Yes. But if you vote for someone who will make life hard for Kenyans, you can't send Raila home.
You lead him.
Yes.
The same problem that Uhuru did.
Yes, and the other day I was saying, during protests in 2024, I was saying, if for us to succeed, let us behave like Raila doesn't exist. Don't even mention his name. Because at one time, we were chanting, Ruto must go. Then one person said, Raila ni con man. Do you know half of the people who are chanting Ruto must go stopped?
They diluted that moment.
And they wanted this guy to explain how is Raila a con man.
They were not happy.
They were not happy. We all want Ruto to go, but this guy has just said Raila is a con man. So half of us have stopped chanting.
The momentum is punctured.
The momentum is punctured. For us to achieve what we want.
They were not actually happy with the statement.
Yes.
Even
So they
though,
are not.
Even though they are still adherent to Ruto must.
Yes.
Yeah.
They agree that Ruto must go. But first, tell us why is Raila. So for us to achieve, there are some people we must ignore, however much they try to capture our attention.
Yeah.
And Raila is a master of that. He always looks for something that puts his name around any political discussion. He just said the other day that a conclave. Everyone is talking about it. That's what he wants. He doesn't care whether you are talking about him badly.
But perhaps it is actually, they are suspecting that it's probably coming from Ruto. The conclave might be coming. Where do you think the conclave is coming
That
from?
is Raila Odinga's idea. Things
it's
like
always
that.
been
It's
his
not
point
from
of
William Ruto. It's Raila Odinga's statement. It's his thinking. Even when you look at the contents of the 10-point agenda that they crafted as they were forming the broad-based government, it was the ODM's language. Inclusivity has always been ODM's language. You know, auditing, public debt, dialogue, and all that. That's all ODM.
Consensus.
Yes.
Consensus.
Yes.
ODM's language.
That's ODM's language. So I looked at the 10-point agenda and I said, Raila sat down with the likes of Paul Mwangi and drafted all this and told Ruto, we tulia, hii mambo tumemaliza. I didn't see any Kenya Kwanza's language there.
Okay. That is very interesting that you didn't see Kenya Kwanza's language there.
It was not anywhere in the 10-point agenda.
It's a hired mercenary because it kind of reminds
So then it's useless.
It's useless. That's why it never went beyond that. It served the same purpose, just like this conclave. It's going to serve a purpose. We are not going to go anywhere. A conclave, the first 3 letters of a conclave is con. This is a con. It's a con game.
And what is it meant to achieve?
To buy time.
To buy time.
These people have come. You know,
It's a discount.
Yes.
Political discount.
Young people are like pranihas in the shadows that want to pounce on their cake. You know, we have created a country where it becomes very hard to even move from poverty to living comfortably. That's why when you meet someone at Pan-Africa, akikwambia alikuwa anaishi Dandora, they wonder, how did you come from Dandora to
here?
eating?
Unimaginable.
Yes. Because they know, if someone came from Dandora to Pan-Africa and they can afford lunch there, then their game is not working. There is something wrong somewhere. Because how did this person slip through to afford this kind of lifestyle? You must stay there. And poverty is no longer a crisis in the country. It's like actually currency. You use it to walk around saying empowerment, dishing food,
Giving people chapati.
maragwe, cooked chapati, cooked. You can imagine, and there is somebody appreciating that they were brought chapati. You must be in a very bad situation to appreciate cooked chapati from a politician.
Why do you keep saying cooked?
Because he has not given you the incentive
Yes.
to...
You must be hungry first.
Yeah, you have to...
You are not
the
able to
immediate
feed yourself.
priority.
You know, I watch some movies, and I think they are not just movies. They speak to reality. There's this series called Blacklist.
Yeah.
And there is a guy there I love so much. He's called Raymond Reddington.
Okay.
He was talking about how do you make your enemy a friend. You create a problem for him and make sure he doesn't know it's you. Then you solve it. You come and say, hey, bwana, umechotwa na bank, hizi kamera zote zimebebwa. Then you are out there, you're wondering, what is your next step? Then I give you money to buy all this. Kumbe ni mimi ndo nilifanya banki kakubeba. So from there you will be seeing me as a very good person. Nikikupigia simu saa 7 usiku, you will always come. So these politicians are doing the same. They make life very hard for you so that when he brings 2 chapatis, you see him as a very good person. But the alternative will be create an environment where somebody can afford chapati on his own. You don't have to bring it. Somebody can build a house where he wants. You want to stay in Taita? Yes, good. You can afford to stay there. But why are you being forced to stay in Mukuru Kwanjenga? Because they decided on their own that, let us build houses in Mukuru. So when you are looking for a house from these affordable housing units, you have very limited options. You can either stay in Mukuru or Kibera or somewhere in Kasarani. What if you... Yes. What if you wanted to stay in Kikuyu? What happens?
And you are thinking that Ruto is not becoming president again.
Yes.
I hear us millennials are going to vote for him. And the
because
Gen X.
you are used to suffering. You grew up during very hard times. So when we talk about Ruto being bad, you don't actually grasp the picture. You are wondering, how is he bad? Because you've seen bad things. You've seen Koigi Omwere exiled. You've seen Raila Odinga being held in solitary confinement. You've seen Alexander Muge being killed on the road, hostile surveillance. You've seen Moi in Adim Mukakunyo Maziwa yake. You sang in choirs.
No, not in choirs. On the road.
On the roadsides. So you've done crazy things. So when Gen Zs are saying this person is bad, you don't understand. That's why majority of the people who are older, they don't see anything wrong with William.
Because they are him.
Yes.
In essence.
William Ruto, for the first time ever since he joined politics, he's going to face people he has never faced in his life. He was elected to parliament in 1997. People who were born at that time, they are all grown-ups today, thinking very differently. Some are going to be voting now for the second time, and with
So it's a different mindset.
yes. I understand sahi unajua ukitembea you will meet an Ethiopian who doesn't even know how to speak Swahili or any Kenyan language with an ID. You will meet a Ugandan with an ID. These Burundians, Somalis. Why? And these refugees, he talked about giving refugees from Kakuma and Dadaab an ID. Why?
Absorbing them into the country.
Yes, so that they can vote for him, because he knows you as Jagero, you will really struggle to vote for him. And you will end up voting for someone else.
And
So
do you think he's going to garner enough votes with all these people?
we are going to make it very hostile for anybody who is not Kenyan to be in Kenya in 2027. These Burundians who are selling coffee, we have no problem with them.
Yes.
But they will have to go back to Burundi. We elect our president first, then they come. Nikienda kununua kahawa, I want to confirm, are you Kenyan? If you are not Kenyan, I'm not buying.
How would you know that he's not Kenyan?
You will always see the accent, physique. I know how Kenyans behave. So it will, they will themselves will go.
But how about just telling them not to vote? Stay in your house.
No. That will not work. This is our country, yes. If you have our ID, where were you born? If you are struggling to speak Swahili at the age of 30, which
There's
means
so many Luos.
Mujaluo mwenye ajui Kiswahili, we will know this is a Luo from Omar. He will be speaking in a manner that we can tell these are Kenyan. But if you don't look like, and we know how Kenyans behave.
Yeah.
We will easily tell.
This is a very interesting topic.
Yes.
And I think that this guy is very dramatic about it. But I'm thinking, how do you actually solve that problem of people trying to vote and they're not Kenyans because they have been given a vote by some presidential, for somebody that wants them to vote? Because I think it's very much borders on human rights.
Before you even speak, it has even security implications. The president just wants to win an election. The only thing on his mind is the next general election. He's not thinking about the effect it will have on the country in the next 20, 30 years.
And that has been actually his philosophy, Ruto's philosophy for a long time.
That is.
Like whatever, the end justifies the means.
Yes, whatever it takes, you have to get what you want.
And that leaves your conscience really scarred. Somebody who cannot afford to think that, let me apologize and comfort a mother who has lost a child.
It's very dangerous.
The level of detachment it takes for you to do that.
It takes, it's very dangerous to have a good brain and a bad heart. It's the most dangerous combination because you can think and you can really scheme yourself, but you don't care about who gets hurt in the process. The scientists who made gas chambers that killed the Jews were very brilliant people, but very evil at heart. And that is not very far from the president that we have. He's very brilliant, but hapa.
Hakuna.
Shida. That's why the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is.
Might I ask you something?
As a man thinketh in his heart,
yes.
so he is.
Yes.
There is something that I think maybe this conversation is leading towards, and I might tie it to the issue of ID cards to foreigners. What is your opinion in terms of structuring or a blueprint in the essence of, yes, our priorities, Ruto must go, and I really do support that actually. Is there a place for structure or a political reimagining for us? Or are we so much conflated into the idea of Ruto must go. The rest, everything else we will figure out, because I was scrapping some sentiments off Twitter, and I get the frustration that can lead you to a point where the only thing you want to do is divorce your partner. Me, I don't want any other thing. Wacha huyu jamaa.
Wacha watoto wateseke lakini kwanza. Wacha huyu bibi aende.
In fact, there's a particular comment that was made on Twitter, and this lady was saying, Ruto has to go, I will go back and sleep kwanza. Hiyo mambo ingine nitafikiria baadaye. I want you to paint a structure, because the difficult question, and I usually don't like it, especially when it comes from Generation X and some early millennials, 80 to 87, when they ask you what next. And that question is also probably, it's very problematic for Gen Zs, because it means that most millennials and the generations before them lack the political bravery to finally make a decision, to finally stand on something, and that something is Ruto must go. It seems that when you're asking what next, you are ideally supporting
that we don't have an option. We just have to stay in this situation.
Yes.
We've been captured, and I'm thinking of how we can escape, and you are like, how do we get out from here?
There? So paint a picture for me. What is the place of a structure, of a political structure and blueprint, and what does that look like for Gen Z political imagination?
I was also thinking that we are focusing a lot on Ruto going, and we can actually succeed in taking him away.
Yeah.
But then he will leave some things that he has done that it will take us a lot of time.
And work.
We will work so hard to correct the mess. Because I think we should also curtail him in making some things go through. We make sure that all his plans does not go through, like the issuing of ID cards and every other crazy thing that he could be thinking of. Because I also think using violence is part of his card. Because you can't.
Very good at it, actually.
Yes, you can't fight logic with. You can only fight logic with superior logic, and if you don't have it, I told you last time, you use violence. That's also one of his cards, and we should also brace ourselves for any eventuality in our pursuit for Ruto must go. And as you talk about structure, I think we should also sit down and see, because I've been asking ourselves, we saying Ruto must go, then we must be having reasons why. What has he done that qualifies him to just be a one-term president? Once we identify the problem and define that problem, then we can look at among ourselves who is best suited to actually do things differently once they assume office. Because in my own thinking, the biggest issue we have that is causing all these problems is that people have nowhere to get their livelihoods. The economy is the problem. Now, all wars that have been fought in this world, the problem has always been around a coin. Hitler killed Jews. Why? Jews were controlling business. At that time, tailoring was the biggest thing. Jews were in control of that. Na walikuwa wachache. So Hitler akaona, no. These people are few. How can they control all this? They are getting everything. They are in distribution. They have their tailors. Let us do away with them. Even the hatred some of the communities in this country have against Kikuyus, it borders around money. Even we are struggling, but Kikuyu has 3 lorries. Why do you have all this money? So, what was up, where are you getting the lorries? So it borders around. Once we get someone who can solve the economy and make it possible that people can live comfortably, where you can open your shop selling shoes and it takes care of your life. Kenyans will not even bother who is president, what is he doing. And then again, the level of corruption is too high. You know, I have always said the issue here is not eating. The issue is how much are you eating? If you've been given money to build 7 dams across the country, why don't you build 5 and eat 2? Kenyans will be busy.
Are you talking about a benevolent corruption, in a sense?
I remember this story. I have given it several times. And I got it from Raila.
Go ahead.
He was speaking in a devolution conference. Was it in Nakuru?
In Nakuru, I think.
Yes. And he was talking about 2 cabinet ministers, one from Nigeria, other one from Malaysia. This was a minister for roads and public works who went to Malaysia on a benchmarking trip. So when he got into Malaysia, he was driven around the city, Kuala Lumpur. It was good. Traffic is organized, no potholes. It's a good city. There are no garbage heaps. So in the evening, he was treated to dinner at the residence of the minister in Malaysia, his host. He was living in a good house, a bungalow. Then the Nigerian minister asked him, how do you manage this good house? Then he was taken to the balcony. I said, do you see that highway there? So the Nigerian minister saw an 8-lane highway. Then he said, 10% here. Then the Malaysian minister ate 10% from that project. That's why he has managed to build this house. So 2 years later, it was now on a return visit, the Malaysian minister to go to Nigeria. He was driven around Abuja and Lagos, potholes, very poor state of affairs.
Nigeria is the building.
Very poor state of affairs.
Then in the evening, he was also treated to dinner at the residence of the Nigerian minister.
Yes.
He found the guy staying in a palace. The house looks like a palace, 2 helipads, some swimming pools that are not even used. And then he was asked, hey, how do you manage this? He was taken to the balcony also. Do you see that highway there? The Malaysian minister could not see any highway. The Nigerian minister, all the money meant for the highway, and built this palatial home here. So these 2 ministers are actually eating from the projects of the government. But how much are you eating?
Yeah.
There is a level of corruption that can happen and give the country a chance to breathe and grow. But if you eat everything, you are told you had money for Kimwarere and Aror.
Yes.
Hata mahali tu ya kufia kwa hiyo.
Hata ya fish pond.
Hakuna.
Let's come back to the last candidate, Maraga.
Maraga.
What do you think about him? Is he finally the chosen?
When you want to throw mud at Maraga, you will have a very hard time. The only thing people are talking about Maraga is that he does not have the bravado, the pomp, everything. The kind of politics Kenyans are used to.
Yeah.
They want the way...
It doesn't have the Ruto.
Yes. The Gachagua, one time. He doesn't have that.
Okay.
But I'm looking at Maraga teaming up with someone also I have in mind.
Who is that?
Will you disclose now?
I don't know if it's okay because...
But there are people who are already in the political scene.
Yes, there are people who have said they want to be president. I can mention Kalonzo wants to be president. Gachagua, he will not run. He will not run. Matiangi wants to be president. Ruto himself. Raila. Possibly. Then Wanjigi also wants to be president.
Wanjigi also wants to be president?
Yes. And I can listen. I used to listen to how he talks about the economy. It looks like he understands where the real problem is. The issue we have in this country is public debt. Once we deal with that, everything falls into place. Because even this budget, we are going to pay debt of about 1.9 trillion. The budget we have is 4.3. We are left with 2.4 around there. Then government operations take 600 billion. Salaries take 400 billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
Counties take 400 billion. Our internal revenue streams only account for 2.4 trillion, out of which we will pay 1.9. We only have 500 billion cash left, but we have bills of about 2.1 to pay. So what do? We overtax people and borrow more. When will we ever get out of this problem? So anyone who wants to be president must explain how he's going to deal with this issue. If you can't, stay home.
All right, people of the internet, thank you very much. That was a good one. Thank you very much, people of the internet. This is Political Headache, and I'm on site with Simiyu. Joakim, I like the name Joakim. Is it a Bible name?
It was supposed to be Jehoiakins. The problem of meritocracy in this country has also affected me. I went to take the birth certificate. Then the person who was supposed to write the name could not write Jehoiakins. So he wrote
Jehoiakins.
Jehoiakins. It's in the 2 Kings, the son to King Jehoiakim of Judah. So the person who wrote that name couldn't pronounce Jehoiakins. So akaandika Joakim. That's how I ended up having Joakim. My mom had called me Kelvin, but nikaona Kelvin looks too soft. Nikasema hapana.
Joakim.
Nikajipea Jehoiakins. Mimi mwenyewe.
Okay.
But na sasa huyu mtu wa birth certificate akaandika Joakim.
All right, people of the internet, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mondio Choka, for coming. I really loved having you on the discussion today. Please consider subscribing to Political Headache. If you want to be a guest here, you are very much welcome. Please hit on that notification bell so that you'll be seeing a lot of Joakim here. Or Kelvin.
Formally.
And until another episode, bye for now.
Bye, cheers.
All right.